know it's been a minute, but I'm back. A lot has been going on, and we're back. Bates Middle School had me fucked up, part 4. So, yeah, RM did not like me still going to lunch and having an attitude about me leaving my purse in her. So, he ended up just basically emailing my mom, and like, that's when he thought it was like I got her, this type of vibe or whatever. So he emailed my mom, and then right after the email, the next day, hold on. Okay, so he and my mom was like, I don't care, I went back to my lunch or whatever, had lunch the 23rd, and it still like escalated before it even stopped for real. So they was like, oh, I did something, and he basically said I threatened the teacher. So that particular day when they said I threatened the teacher, I had started lunch, and then another class came. So he had gave me side of lunch, and I had to. He said I talked, and it wasn't even me. He didn't even see it, and he just pointed me out. And so he sat me down, and I was pissed because I was gonna be the last one to eat, even after the next class that came in, not the last person in my line. So I was like, I wasn't even talking, and I was fussing. And I agree, and I hold myself accountable that I probably should have never said what I said, but it was just the facts of what I said. So I said, I'm gonna be the last one out. If I get to eat my lunch, I'm gonna tell my mama. That's all I said. All hell broke loose. They said I threatened the teacher at that time. And then my second threat was after the conference with my mom and my grandma. Let me backtrack because I'll keep going forward. So after that side of lunch, whatever, they sent me to my administrator. They called my mom, said I threatened, yada yada yada. And it was just like, I can't say that, whatever. So couple days later, whatever, he going back to the purse. And because my mom didn't get the email yet. Did she get the email before then? Not over. But let me tell you, this man is perverted. Like, RM would like, if somebody was like wearing a skirt, like depending on what the length of whatever, like he would like literally be looking down. He'd be looking at the girls and everything. Like, that man just be looking at all the girls, especially in those skirts. Peeping Tom. Because I really think that one day when they caught him looking under, like he was looking under, I think he was looking under that girl's skirt for real. And everybody said that. But anyways, so this particular day we came back. I want to say I got kicked out of class that same day at the silent lunch. So hold on, backtrack. So getting back to the email, it wasn't even about the purse. It was just silent lunch. And it was just irritating thing too. But I think it was about the purse too. But backtracking to the email just sent basically said about the purse, yada yada yada. So my mom basically said whatever, she have a talk with me, whatever. So I get home, my mom have a talk with me, yada yada yada, tell my side of the story and everything going on. So like a couple of days was parent teacher night. So parent teacher night come, like I told you, DM class is right there beside RM, so we wouldn't be there. So that's not correct term. When my grandma, my mom, and I come into RM, and DM is my science teacher. But when we went in his class, this man had this man put on a whole facade. Like, I never see that man act so nice. Like, he acts so nice. He acts so professional. He acts so well-mannered. Like that man act like he ain't had no ounce of rudeness in him. Now, my mom and my grandma did not fall for it because, like, they could have seen when his face changes. And it's something I wasn't even paying attention to because I wasn't really looking at him. But I know from what they said and what they talked when we left his class. So I had my book bag purse, I think, with me at that time, if I'm not mistaken, if I didn't leave it in the car or at home. So they said something, and he makes it seem that, oh, I know you talked to her. It was something, but he just, whatever. So he put us a whole facade. Yeah, it's wonderful teacher her, da 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 da. So this particular day, yeah. So then a couple of days later, that was when that silent lunch and that little threat. Before then. So then after that. So then now here's the day where all hell break loose. So we don't have to go to lunch, whatever. I think this was when we went down. Ooh, sorry about it for real. But yeah. So we end up getting back to class. I can't remember what happened to that day before because I can't. I'm that incident because those incidents were so close together. But anyway, this particular day, I was in class and I didn't have no paper because I had a pencil, so I didn't have no paper. So I was in class with my cousin. I'm gonna call her Jay. So my cousin Jay, I think if I'm not mistaken, we were sitting right beside each other. So me and Jay, just like we have that bond. It don't take that much for us to laugh. Like it never took that much for us to laugh because like we understood like our facial expressions and everything, and like you gotta be there for the inside joke type of stuff. So I was sitting running on paper. I think I asked Jay for some paper, if I'm not mistaken, and she had ran low on paper, and she didn't have enough paper. So I asked somebody else for paper. So I was just asking around for some paper, and yeah. So I'm asking for paper. He was just like, "Be quiet," and I'll stop talking. And I just asked for some paper, and he said something, and he would make it seem like I had a smart mouth, and I promise you. And I was like, he was just like, "You gotta get out of my classroom." And I was just like, "What? I ain't even do nothing. I ain't even say nothing." He was like, "Get out of my class. You gotta get in my classroom." So he proceeds to call Mr. B. That's what I'm gonna call the that assistant principal. That one of the assistant principal administrators. So he's like, "Mr. B, yada yada yada, come pick up Sapphire, yada yada." So he come talk to me. So Mr. B come and talk to me was just like, no, because I have a 504, like I said. I don't know if I said it to y'all, but I got a 504 plan. So I'm supposed to be able to leave thing, but nothing was tremendous for me to like be anything big for me to like own anything, whatever. But they always follow that plan. So Mr. B was like, "Sapphire, come here." So I done left. I done come out the room, and he was talking to me. Yeah, this and that. He was like, "Okay, well, to go get your." He was like, "Well, you can go get your stuff," because Mr. B know how I am about people touching my stuff. He knows I don't like people touching my stuff. Like, I'm very particular about who touching my stuff, why touching my stuff. If something come up missing, it's gonna be a problem. And then not so long ago, in the first 5 weeks of the beginning of the school year, of my 7th grade, somebody stole the lock off my locker. And it was locked. That's the fucked up part about it. The lock was locked on my locker. And I only had the combination code. My mama did too. And somebody stole that motherfucker. And still never found out who did it though. But yeah, so Mr. B was like, "Go in and get your stuff." So I said, "Okay." So I'm going in. I'm going to get my stuff. I'm packing up my stuff. I'm getting my book bag purse. And I'm getting my book bag. I'm rolling. So like RM know what he was doing. So RM standing in front of the door. Hold on, I'm gonna have to bring that because it's a little long. I'm running out of time. See you in part 5.